So these little marks, whenever you see them, it means you have a mole or some sort of rodent or animal that burrows itself under the ground. Now, because I'm missing the little itty bitty cabbage that I grew in the kitchen, I'm assuming it's a mole that ate my cabbage. So, anybody has wild strawberries growing in their yard, be careful before eating the berries to make sure that they do not come with yellow flowers that look like this. Those are not strawberries, but a relative of the strawberries. Now, when I found what I thought was wild strawberries growing, I dug up a little one, I stuck it in my strawberry planter here to watch it, to see what color flowers I get from it, to know whether or not to let the kids eat them when they're running around and playing. Turns out it was a yellow strawberry, so it got ripped up, and I'm going to let this guy fill in that square as well. But back to the moles. I have been battling moles for the past month. They've gone through and decimated parts of my garden. They've even dug up this little solar-powered mole repellent thing because they don't like it, and they would not go away. So we got some castor oil soaked flake things and put them down. Now next year I'm going to plant castor beans around my garden to help keep them away. But since we put the castor oil down, they haven't come back. Castor oil is organic, as it comes from the castor bean plant. And it won't hurt your plants. It doesn't hurt your animals. The moles and voles, they just don't like it. But I wanted to show you the raised bit of soil with the cracking. That is how you know that you have these things. You step on it and you sink. Now, moles don't typically do a lot of harm to your garden. They're mostly after the bugs that live in your soil. But every now and then they do come up and they do eat some of your plants. In my case, it just so happened to be the cabbage that I started growing in my kitchen. When they burrow under your plants, they damage some of the roots, but not a lot of them. So some could argue that they're beneficial to your garden, whereas others could argue that they harm your garden, depending on what they're doing to your garden. If you have a very clay-rich, rocky soil, and these things are burrowing through, they might damage a little bit of your roots at first, but they're loosening up the soil, making it easier for new roots to grow through. And don't be discouraged if one thing doesn't work. There's other things that you can try. Now on to a little update. Since giving more sun to this little rose bush, it's gotten a little bit sturdier. All of the pumpkins have new growth. And that's a frog hiding in the leaves. Can't show you, sorry, can't see it myself. Scared the bejeezies out of me. However, on this pumpkin, I'm starting to get flowers. And right over here, even though all of the leaves fell off, that green stem on the rose bush means that it took the transplant. So next year, hopefully we'll get to see what color it is. I still only have 3 tomatoes on my 2 plants. However, they're getting pretty large. Got this guy right here. And this one here with the bug hole. And I've got that one down there. I also have an assortment of new flowers that are starting. However, I don't know if we have enough warm days left for them to grow. Potatoes are growing wonderfully, even though they're kind of laying on the ground. And right here is a pepper. After all that pepper drop, I finally got a pepper to grow on this guy. And if you look up at the top, I have more flowers starting. And I even have a new pepper growing right there. Now I am going to be digging that guy up, putting him in that pot, and taking him in the winter. Just to see how that plant grows. And how big I can get it. Although it's not supposed to get that big. However, there's a storm that we are watching. It's a Category 5 hurricane down south. And we're not sure if it's going to come up to us, go back out to sea, or go across into the Gulf. So, later on in this week, I might be doing a video about how to get your garden storm ready in preparation for a hurricane. Until then, I'm going to leave you with a clip from my kitchen with a tip on how to regrow celery that you buy at the store. Make your dollars stretch in the kitchen. So, about a week ago, I cut the bottom end off of a heart of celery. There wasn't much going on. However, almost instantaneously the next day, I started to get the center to rise. And now, you can make out leaves and stalks. It's one of the most simplest ways to save money. When you grow celery, or when you buy celery, chop the end off instead of peeling the branches off. And even if you have no roots down at the bottom, gently put it in a little bit of water. The roots will start to grow. The roots will start to grow, and you'll get new fresh celery. And when it's large enough to transplant, all you have to do is put it in the soil and keep it watered. Now I'm pretty sure that you can grow this in water. And I'm going to try to see if that's possible. I'm also seeing if the bottom bit of an onion will do the same thing. This is from yesterday or the day before. And I already got parts of it that are starting to peel up, but I don't know if they're growing or if they're just peeling up. So, I'll keep you updated. However, simple kitchen hack to save money. If you use a lot of celery, instead of buying it over and over and over again, or growing it over and over and over again, just save the bottoms and grow it over and over and over again from the bottoms. You save money on seeds, you save money at the grocery store. It's a win-win situation. And depending on how much you use, you can start them at different times. Have a continuous chain. Like if you use one heart one day, and the next day you use another heart, start one day and one the next day. So on and so forth until you get back and you're using the first one you grew. And then just keep repeating the process. Now the celery I'm growing for Ember, because she likes to take the sticks, fill them up with peanut butter and stick raisins in them. Now, in this pot that I've been trying to grow my Camellia sensis out of, I've got a couple things going on. First, I got this bit of tomato plant that I snipped when I was pruning one of the ones in my other pot. All I did was stick it in, keep the soil moist. Some of it curled up, it wilted, but it shot right back up. Now, over here, the same thing. I was pruning my mulberry tree, and I stuck a branch in, and I got new growth. No root hormone, no nothing. Two of the easiest plants to root. Now I lost all of my variegated vanilla. However, this unvariegated bit that I had took very well to rooting. And I got new growth a lot sooner than most of the experts I've looked up said I would. Although, sadly, the spider mites decimated one of my mangoes. I still have my honey mango growing. And everything else that was here but this. This is spider mite damage. The red mango didn't make it through the spider mite damage. However, look at how nice my coffee tree is doing. And how large these tomatoes are getting just in this pot.